Hey guys, PowerStroke Maintenance here, and today I want to talk about my biggest DIY screw up on my truck. I am not a mechanic, I'm an owner, and to keep costs down because diesels are very expensive to maintain, I do a lot of my own work. So the biggest screw up that I made was when I put my cold side S&B pipe on to replace the problematic OEM Ford pipe. I did not seat the rubber gasket, the OEM rubber gasket, correctly on the new connection point on the S&B pipe. Now that may seem like a small thing, but what happened was there's a rubber gasket that goes right in here that connects from the manifold and the throttle body to your cold side pipe. And what happened was I actually pinched when I put this on, because it was really hard to put on. I did put a little oil on it to try to slip it over, but I pinched my O-ring, the rubber gasket that goes in this pipe, when I was installing it. And that resulted in there not being an adequate seal between the throttle body and the manifold and the pipe. And so for those of you that have been watching my videos, you know what happened next. The motor ate the O-ring because it was sandwiched between the throttle body and the pipe. There was a lot of hot oil and contact that wasn't supposed to be happening, and so the motor ate my O-ring and spat it out, and I did not have a seal anymore. So I was leaking oil and I was leaking boost, and so my fuel economy went way down and the truck was not running great. It was not getting a lot of power. I didn't really notice for a while until I went to see A-Rod, PowerStroke Tech Talk, and he was like, hey man, you have a boost leak. And so that was a big thing I talked about in one of my other videos when I was talking about fuel economy and fixing all of that. But I think to date, that was probably my biggest screw up. And it was a small thing. Like, I could have just been more careful when I put the cold side pipe on and tried to use a little bit more lubricant when I slid it onto the throttle body and the manifold, and not been so impatient. I guess word to the wise, if you're doing that install, I'm sure a lot of you have already done the install, maybe check your O-ring if you had a hard time getting the pipe on, or just don't do what I did and be super impatient and try to shove it on really fast, because it will result in you having a boost leak and your motor and intake getting gummed up with soot because it's not getting enough air, and you getting crappy fuel economy and having to spend a whole lot more money. So I'm sure we've all had our screw ups. If you do any sort of DIY, you usually have a pretty good story. So that's mine, putting on the cold side pipe and having the motor melt my O-ring. It was pretty embarrassing, but I would love to hear from you guys. What's been your worst DIY screw up on any vehicle that you've owned? It could be your PowerStroke, it could be another truck. I definitely want to hear, when did you get yourself into a sticky situation with your DIY work, and how did you get yourself out of that? All right guys, that's gonna do it for me. Thanks for watching. Please be sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.